A public crisis hits, outrage follows, a commission writes new rules, and then the system fails all over again. You can draft a new policy overnight, but the shared assumptions, habits, and loyalties inside an institution take years to shift. When paper rules clash with deeply rooted culture, culture almost always wins. Furthermore, public attention is short. The political pressure required to actually implement those changes often vanishes long before the slow, unglamorous daily work of reforming an agency is complete. Safety is never a product delivered to a community by the state. It is something an institution and a neighborhood build together through co-production. Rewriting a use of force manual achieves little if the public views the officers enforcing it with deep suspicion. You cannot build a safe environment with a community that actively distrusts the badge. The modern blueprint for addressing these breakdowns is the 2015 Task Force on 21st Century Policing. It organizes reform around 6 distinct pillars, from officer wellness to training and education. These 6 pillars function as an interlocking system. The entire structure depends on layered accountability to ensure those policies translate into actual conduct. This accountability takes 2 forms. Inside the department, it means strict supervision, early intervention systems, and breaking the code of silence. Outside the department, it requires independent civilian oversight boards and prosecutorial review. When local agencies experience severe, systemic breakdowns, the ultimate external check is federal intervention. The Department of Justice can launch pattern or practice investigations, often resulting in court-enforced reform agreements known as consent decrees. Stacking these oversight mechanisms together does not presume that officers are acting in bad faith. Instead, it creates a transparent environment where fairness is actively proven through data and verifiable actions, which establishes a baseline of trust. Many agencies try to streamline this work by adopting advanced technology, like predictive policing software. These tools promise maximum efficiency, using data analytics to forecast where crimes will happen and allocate resources objectively. Algorithms are only as neutral as their training data. By absorbing past arrest records, predictive systems amplify historical biases into future enforcement. But by exposing these tools to community input, establishing privacy boundaries, and auditing for errors, technology can advance fairness. Deploying surveillance tools in secret creates immense friction. Opaque systems like live facial recognition networks deployed without public consent threaten civil liberties and alienate the very residents the agency is supposed to protect. The legitimacy of a new tool depends entirely on its governance. Adopted transparently, technology advances accountability. Used in secret, it erodes the very trust it was meant to protect. Better policies and updated algorithms fall short if the system as a whole lacks legitimacy. For communities carrying generational grievances regarding unequal treatment, mistrust is a rational response to inherited experience. This introduces the critical difference between reform and reconciliation. Reform rewrites the rulebook. Reconciliation requires an honest, non-defensive acknowledgement of documented historical and present harms. The two must travel together. Offering an apology without actually changing behavior is an empty public relations tactic. But updating enforcement tactics without acknowledging the past feels entirely hollow to the people carrying those grievances. Operating in a state of constant community friction takes a severe toll on justice workers themselves. When the relationship is broken, officer wellness and safety become nearly impossible to maintain. While strict reforms can force a department to comply with a new set of mandates, it takes the delicate work of reconciliation to heal the underlying wound and convert that compliance into durable trust. Institutions often fail to sustain change because they measure the wrong things. For decades, justice agencies evaluated success by rewarding raw volume, arrests made, citations issued, and the speed of answering calls. A genuine community-centered approach requires a broader scorecard. An effective agency publishes data that tracks public trust, the equity of its enforcement across different demographics, and perceived legitimacy, right alongside the traditional crime rates. But this partnership requires effort from the citizen side too. A functioning justice system relies on residents choosing to vote for local officials, serve on juries, report crimes, and attend town halls. Even the most highly trained, procedurally just department cannot secure a neighborhood if the people living there refuse to participate. When the public withdraws from the relationship, the entire mechanism stops working. The community justice relationship is never a finished product. It is a living, imperfect partnership built day by day, and its future relies on citizens and institutions understanding that they must build it together.